City of Los Angeles has the Olympics coming in 2028, the Paralympics, and sooner than that, the World Cup. So you've got all these politicians, including California Governor, podcaster Newsom, and Mayor Karen Bass, mayor of Los Angeles, touting how they're going to get rid of all the homelessness before these events take place. Is that possible? No. And today's story highlights kind of exactly what the deal is. Here's the title of the article. Rampant use, can't use the D word. Overdoses found outside hotel used for homeless housing, lawsuit claims. Safety concerns around inside safe housing facility. Got a lawsuit by a concerned citizen who basically watches this out his window, just all of these shenanigans going on. And he's sued. Civil suit, basically saying, City of Los Angeles, you guys are not doing what you should be doing for us as residents. You are allowing this illegal activity to happen right in front of us. I'm watching it out my window. What's that look like? Let's get into it. Here we go. Quick video.
Only on Fox 11, concerns of rampant drug use outside of a hotel that's now being used for LA's Inside Safe temporary housing program. And neighbors say it's all happening just steps away from two schools.
Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf live tonight outside City Hall after relocating from the hotel.
Get this.
Well, Christine, after hearing from this viewer and seeing it firsthand, we didn't feel safe even doing a live shot outside this hotel. But tonight we're hearing and seeing this video from...
Didn't feel safe doing a live shot outside of the hotel because the sidewalk was scary. The street was scary. He's like, yeah, I'm not filming there. It's not worth whatever you guys are paying me.
Outside for the first time.
Oh, she got it. Look, she got her fentanyl.
Possible illegal drug deals on public sidewalks.
Possible.
Attempting chest compressions.
Overdoses.
Nice.
He really was waving a gun. No?
And arguments with police.
The rampant hard drug use and sales.
Just some of what Christopher Stone has recorded outside the Stewart Hotel in downtown Los Angeles.
Politicians are so desperate to clean up the encampments that they're willing to turn a blind eye to this sort of activity.
Christopher unwilling to show his face on camera because of safety concerns.
Yeah.
Why should residents tolerate this?
If you're living in this area, I mean, that's scary, scary stuff. You're literally watching this from your place, and you're like, oh, I am living in an altered reality. And that reality is the fentanyl people just kind of wandering around, doing a little OD action. I mean, this is commonplace in Seattle, commonplace in Portland, super commonplace in San Francisco and LA. But the circumstances are always all the same, which is these are people they've allowed to get on drugs. And now these people are they're not going to get off drugs unless somebody makes them. And that just isn't happening. So you got all these events coming to Los Angeles. None of this is going to get fixed. It's going to get swept away. It's going to get cleaned up. But the root causes for all this, which is what we're watching, drug addiction, aren't going anywhere. And yet politicians are going to point to, this is happening. This is happening. LA's great. Should be fine.
Tossing the money back up.
The Stewart Hotel, now part of the city's Inside Safe program, gives interim housing for the homeless. Outside the building Thursday, Fox 11 recorded several people swept over, a large encampment, and possible human waste.
They leave themselves on the sidewalk because they're too high just to walk the 50 feet to their private bathroom.
Right on the other side of the street of the Stewart Hotel, we have a middle school and an elementary school.
There's a family.
Poor kids, they got to see this stuff.
Julio Escobar works nearby.
I see people showering out here with using hydrants, doing drugs on the streets.
He recently got out of prison and now tries helping people fighting drug addiction.
I think they need more people to talk, right? To reach out to the people.
Mayor Karen Bass Thursday tweeting about an Inside Safe success story involving a man named Jack, saying this is how we save lives through immediate housing and resources.
This is because of Inside Safe.
Christopher using his video as evidence for his new civil lawsuit against the city, hoping to get public drug use to stop.
Deal with it off the public sidewalk. Deal with it on the private property that the program is devoted to.
I want to play that part again. That is some critical stuff right there. That's why I'm doing this video. All right, here we go.
Deal with it off the public sidewalk. Deal with it on the private property that the program is devoted to.
Let's talk about that for a second. I think that is genius. I think that is what should happen. And it'll never happen because then the city needs to basically take ownership of the fact wherever they put in one of these inside safe deals, it's going to be an absolute you-know-what show because you're attracting all the homeless who are whacked out of their mind on drugs. I mean, the people that we're seeing here have huge addiction issues. Putting them inside doesn't change that. It just changes the location of where it happens. So if you want to have inside safe programs in a hotel, then allow the drug purchase and sale of drugs, the use of drugs, the overdoses to happen on private property. Contain it. Contain it there so that everybody else can walk along the sidewalk and walk along the streets. But LA and other big liberal cities, they're never going to go for this because they want to tout inside safe, these types of housing programs, as something that actually works. I don't think they do. I think it's, harm reduction. It's all harm, no reduction. Putting people with massive mental issues or addiction issues into, single room occupancy, old school hotel by themselves is just a recipe for them to OD and nobody knows about it and they can't be saved. So having all this stuff go on in a private parking lot, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe there's a guard that, and this is all just, we're talking here because the cities aren't going to do anything. They're just basically going to do nothing and pretend that everything's great, that inside safe works. But in reality, you've seen what happens on the sidewalk. You've seen what happens on the streets. I got yelled at in downtown Seattle for filming on public street, Pike and 3rd, northeast end of the Blade. Somebody didn't like what I was doing. He's walking on the sidewalk and he's taking video of us doing drugs, selling drugs, buying drugs, passing out, having overdoses. So I'm on a public street in one of, North America's bigger cities, Seattle, and I'm witnessing this and I get yelled at. So yeah, take it off the public sidewalk, take it off the public street and put it where, there can be some accountability for the city-run programs. Hey, this is your problem. You deal with it. They'd just be wildly overwhelmed, right? Because they want to pretend everything's okay as long as everybody's inside. No.
We just got this message from the deputy mayor saying the mayor's office is working closely to ensure that temporary housing units are safe for the surrounding community as well as those living in them. Encampments near schools and businesses all over the city have been addressed through Inside Safe, and we will continue to ensure that all Angelenos have access to safe communities and clean sidewalks.
We will continue access and clean side. Well, except here, where Christopher Stone, the interviewee, is just outright identifying what you got going on, which is you basically got city officials and police that have just allowed this stuff to take over. And now they're pointing to, city-sponsored, state-sponsored, whatever it is. Hey, inside safe, it's all great. So their statement is, hey, everything's good. It's all good. We continue to allow access on our sidewalks and we want to make sure they're clean. Except for this one with all the video footage that Christopher shot there. I mean, you're basically just saying it's all good. And then everybody's looking around going, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know how Los Angeles is going to contain their homeless when the Olympics come through. I mean, you got some pretty big geographic areas you're talking about. How are they going to clean that up? Are they just going to take all the resources that should be spent between now and then actually doing that and do a massive push at the end? Yeah, probably, right?
Live downtown tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
I love the beginning of that video because the guy's like, yeah, I'm not, I'm not doing an interview out here. Dude could get killed. somebody might kill me. Somebody might poop on me. Because that's what happens in these areas that have just been overrun with fentanyl, overrun with drugs. It's crazy train, right? And we've all seen how Gavin Newsom is absolutely screaming down these mayors' throats. You guys got to clean it up. Otherwise, I'm going to take away your state funding for homelessness. You guys got to clean it up. Meanwhile, Trump is canceling. He's canceling the high-speed trade to nowhere. He's like the $4 billion in funding, federal funding. He's like, no, we're not doing that. That's not doing anything. Just like having Inside Safe isn't really helping folks who live in these communities where Inside Safe is, because their sidewalks are jammed up and they got drug deals going on and they got people waving guns around willy-nilly because there's shenanigans happening. And, he's watching it out his window. He's like, oh, there's a good one. Oh, there's a drug deal gone sideways there. Oh, there's somebody ODing. And those are the things that city officials don't want to have out there, because kind of proves the point that these programs don't really work. But hey, let's just Inside Safe, greatest thing ever. Meanwhile, City of Los Angeles, a scooch of a budget problem. LA Council panel votes to save 1,000 city jobs, reducing layoffs to 650. Okay, so they only laid off 650. So you got a financial problem. You've got financial problems, and you still got the Olympics a-coming. You got the World Cup coming. Who decided that was a good call? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, okay. I remember the 1984 LA Olympics, I think. And LA hadn't evolved quite that bad back then. 1984, I was a freshman. Yeah, in high school. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't, what it is today. It hadn't just absolutely gone nutty. Skid Row was still, Skid Row. It's been there for a long, long time. It's kind of where they dump everybody, right? But you've got all these circumstances happening, and a lot of people are thinking, well, this is all going to come down kind of at the same time. Meanwhile, you've got LA Mayor Karen Bass, who is just saying some nutty stuff. Just some, what are you talking about kind of things. LA Mayor Bass dodges question on whether all illegal immigrants in the city should be allowed to stay. Bass criticized Trump National Guard reign of terror despite anti-ICE riots in Sanctuary City. So the riots have calmed down, right? We don't necessarily have them, and they basically shut Antifa down in Portland. And so you've got kind of a little bit of a transition there. But Mayor Karen Bass has shown her absolute lack of leadership. 10 ways from Sunday. How about this one? Santa Monica business owner offering one-way flights to get homeless out of California. They're so desperate to do something with the homeless folks that this is their answer. A private citizen basically getting together a coalition of people who are trying to get the homeless back to their relatives wherever their home state is. And California's got programs to do this, and they've serviced a bunch of people doing this. But right now, you've got such a big push. Let's do anything we can to address the crime, the homelessness, the drug abuse, the drug addiction, the mental health issues. So much effort is going towards addressing those things because it's a terrible, terrible, terrible look. And leadership knows it. They know that they've allowed this to happen because you can't avoid it. You just simply can't avoid it. Here's another one. LA Mayor Karen Bass' comment about Trump and the border was so crazy, even Martha Raddatz was, what the F? Yeah, I mean, you've got Karen Bass saying, Karen Bass says Trump has nothing good with the border. The viewpoint has been, let's make it as miserable as possible so that these people don't come. Yeah, that's the whole point. You've got to have border control. Make it so miserable people don't come. Yeah, I mean, just the logic here. Think about that. All right, so their job is to secure the border, and that's what they're doing, and you're complaining about that, right? Whatever they're doing is certainly working at the border. Check. Just, I want you to see what leadership in Los Angeles, what they've got going on. Let's watch this for a second. This is how you end up with ridiculous programs like Inside Safe that don't work. And city leadership is like, everything's great.
Los Angeles is a city of immigrants, 3.8 million people, and about 50% of our population is Latino. And so when the raid started, fear spread like a virus around the entire county.
Is there anything good you think the administration has done in these 6 months at the border?
Well, I will heap praise on the administration for the first 6 months in Los Angeles with the fires. If you ask me, is there anything that they have done good in terms of immigration? I don't know. I don't think so. I think that the viewpoint.
Illegal border crossings are down 95%. 95%. 95%. Almost, that's almost stopping illegal crossings at the border, right? And this is her response. This is how unintelligent she is. She's just, yeah. And so no wonder, you've got people just running around doing drugs. It's not, this is, and that started way before her, position of power as mayor of Los Angeles. But when you're coming up with answers like that on an issue that was, before Congress, and they had vote on immigration laws that were going to go into effect, and they were terrible. You had legislation that was being, bandied about, and the Democrats blamed Republicans. Well, come to find out, you actually don't need legislation on the border. You just actually have to secure the border. And that's what ICE has done. And yet you've got this woman here who can't seem to see what's right in front of her.
Point has been punitive, has been let's make it as miserable as possible so that these people don't come.
And whatever they're doing is certainly working at the border itself. We were down on that border, and it is dramatically different than it was a year ago. But
all right, Martha.
So my point in showing you that clip is that even ABC has to recognize you can't avoid that the policies the Trump administration are implementing at the border and with ICE aren't having a massive impact. And they are. They just are. It's huge. The numbers, the data. We rely upon the data and the science. Right. Okay. Well, what percentage of the numbers down of, illegal encounters? 95? All right. Okay. Yeah. Without legislation that all the Democrats, are whining about. We can't get it because Republicans won't work with us. They won't work with you because it was terrible policy. It was terrible legislation. It was just awful. Just like having an inside safe house across the street from a couple of schools. Just the mindset there. All right, where are we going to put this hotel that's going to have just a bunch of lunatics, a bunch of Looney Tunes running around? Where are we going to put there's a couple of schools across the street. Yeah, I can see them. Let's put them there. Should work out fine. We vow to keep the sidewalks clean and streets and schools safe. Well, that's just not happening. That's simply not happening. And it's so bad. Check this one out. Let's see if I can get this. Yeah, there we go. Orwellian clip shows dystopian robot horror that has become new normal in crime-plagued Los Angeles. So what you're seeing is... Check this out. Here's the robot, right? Wheel devices have been filmed maneuvering past mannequins sprawled on the City of Angels' grimy sidewalks while being tested by food delivery firm Serve Robotics. In the latest footage, a stunned witness shared a clip of the device after catching Serve Robotics engineers testing their device on the sidewalk. So you got a bunch of dummies. You got dummies that are homeless, that are fake homeless people. LA has fake homeless people because they need to simulate what real world conditions are on the sidewalk. So one of my thoughts, well, how about this one here? How about those two? You guys see that? The Coldplay concert, that was so great. Oh, and the dude, he hunkers down, and the girlfriend, they're both employees of a pretty big company. I mean, let's go to the Coldplay company and let's do some shenanigans, and I'll never find out. No, our wives and husbands respectively won't find out. And then it's just all over. But let's get back to this. So you've got this robot is working its way around the homeless mannequins, the homeless dummies, because it's such a problem. Okay, how are we going to get around? How are we going to do this with these whacked out people? I mean, it is just an absolute, yeah, here you go. All right, you got a robot going down the side of this street right here. How's that going to work out? Just some nut job is going to come out of a tent right here and go out and just kick the crap out of their robot. I wouldn't be running a robot in LA. I wouldn't run a robot in Seattle. Just wouldn't do it. Just no can do. Because the liability is too great that some just absolute, knucklehead is going to go out there and, I see a robot. Let's kick it. Let's see what happens. Let's take a whiz on it. Let's take a dump on it. Let's just vandalize it, because that's what these people who are absolutely out of their mind on drugs, that's what they do. That's what they specialize in. Meanwhile, city leadership is trying to convince us that they're making every effort to keep the sidewalks open, streets clean, and that we're doing a knock-up job. Knock-up job. Anything left in that article? No. Yeah, how about this? I seriously can't believe this is real. Tech workers are out testing and training delivery robots in LA, California to avoid homeless people on the sidewalks. Tech workers testing in progress with homeless dummies set up for the testing. And Gavin Newsom wants to be president. Oh, it's so true. It's so true. Let's watch this video. Just take a quick peek.
To capitalize how we are making college staff testing in progress. Yeah, it's just fun because my mind went straight to, they better learn how to dodge all that. Yeah, and it's more important to be safer and aggressive. And dodge lawsuits. That part.
See, so you got some tech worker out there, and he's just doing what he's told. And he's like, all right, go out here, Jimmy, and let's see how these things do with the homeless. So one of my thoughts is, if you are a citizen and you've got a whole bunch of this crazy shenanigans going on outside your door, just like the young lady we saw in Portland with the cane, who basically sued the city because they weren't enforcing a noise ordinance of Antifa, just continually throughout the night, blasting loud sounds, blasting loud music, just basically violating a noise ordinance 10 ways from Sunday. She went ahead and sued. Is that what private citizens need to do? Like the young man here, Christopher Stone, who's launching a lawsuit. I believe that's how the story goes. A lawsuit that indicates, hey, this isn't safe. This isn't how things should go. We shouldn't have people running around with guns because your Inside Safe program creates an atmosphere where things are absolutely third world, devolved into just a sidewalk drug culture where all bets are off, overdoses happen, and just crazy nut job things happen on a continual basis, as we saw in the video, which is part of the lawsuit. It's not that hard. Do you have any evidence? Yeah, I'm filming this outside my window. That's my evidence. I don't really know if that counts. You know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen? But do private citizens, do they just start suing the city 10 ways from Sunday? Whatever resources they have, if they get together, do a GoFundMe for a lawsuit. Hey, let's clean up the neighborhood. We need to sue and just start suing. Just literally litigation after litigation after litigation. Where would that get us? I don't know, but it sure would be fun to watch, wouldn't it? Is it a reasonable approach? Probably not. But what's there to lose? You know what I mean? What is there to lose? Because with the current way that these big blue cities are handling homelessness, it ain't going away anytime soon. Because you either got to be willing to voluntarily put them in a mental institution, involuntarily put them in detox and a drug treatment program, or put them in jail. Put them in jail. Those are your three options. And we're not really doing any of those three, or even a combination of the three. Kind of talk about it, and then they got these inside safe programs, and we've seen how well that works out. So the city's going to say, we're getting as many people inside as we can. Okay. And what about those shenanigans on the sidewalk out in front of these places? What about that? Well, we're saving lives. All right. What about the guy dying of an OD outside of your inside safe where there's an open air drug market? What about that guy? What about that guy? Oh, yeah, I was hustling my way back from Ghana when the fire broke out. I can't be blamed. Wild stuff coming out of California right now. Between Newsom and Karen Bass, there's not a lack of material for you know who. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, hit the like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for being here. Bye for now.